What up, what up? All right, interesting session day before FOMC. It's Tuesday. And yeah, I know a lot of people got murked trying to short to this daily opening gap. I'm going to tell you why that was a bad idea and how you can save yourself next time, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, there's no way it doesn't get hit. We were so close. And that's literally, it's not because I just knew it wasn't going to hit. It could have gotten hit. I don't know. That's the point, is I don't know. And I've seen it get edged extremely close before and then completely dump thousands of points. I'll just go and show you. All right. Look at this. Daily, we're going back to November. November 4th. We have a small gap and wickless dump on the open. I think it was Tuesday. There you go. And it doesn't matter. Anyways, we open, dump, no wick. Tons of time. I tried 4 or 5 times as we got closer to longing with that as the target. And eventually I just realized, who knows when this gets hit? I have no idea. Eventually I realized that this marked a very initiative seller. And that's why it was such a strong move. That's why there's no wick and stuff. But yeah, people that have like no wick strategies, I think are just long-term, there's no way they're going to be profitable. I don't even know how they last longer than a few weeks, because you just don't even know how long, on any time frame. You don't know how long it's going to remain wickless for. You have no idea. So I know a lot of people saw that initially way back. I saw that and I was like, oh, it's coming back. It has to. Yeah, sure. Eventually. You don't know though. It literally it came 2 months later. It came within 4 points. 4 points. That's how close it got. And then that started the move higher, just nuked all the way down to the lows. Yeah, didn't hit it back didn't fix it for 5 months. Okay, 5 months. That's like, if you were waiting for that to get fixed the whole time, like, oh, geez, I feel bad. So yeah, anyways, so today when it was, coming down, it was getting close and everyone's like, oh, it's going to get hit. Yeah, no wick, daily opening gap. I just kept thinking of that November, man. I was way too scarred from that. I was like, I don't care. If it gets hit, it gets hit. Either way, it didn't matter to me. It's just about what it does after that I care about. I just care about the price. So yeah, I think that was, a lot of people just got infinitely edged there and probably just blew accounts. Feel bad for you. Learning lesson. At all-time highs, when we're at all-time highs, the volume is actually significantly lower. There's less big players in the mix, and that is why market makers have a way easier time manipulating draws on liquidity, edging draws on liquidity. So if they know, of course, every person is just staring at this gap being like, oh, it's got to get taken, kind of thing. Yeah, if there's a big buyer in the mix, they're going to drag it real close so that there's just so much aggressive selling towards it, because again, so many traders are thinking, oh, it has to get hit. And at that same time as they're selling hardcore, big buyers filling their banks for a move higher. And I think that's what happened today. So I just took along from the bottom of this TR pocket in these POCs. That was pre-market. I round tripped it, rejected off VWAP, and hit me break even. There was definitely signs that it was going to go lower from there. And I should have just exited and taken my profits day before FOMC. I should have known better, but instead round tripped it, break even. Then it started to balance, and from there I had no interest. I'll talk about a couple things. First of all, we'll just go through what initially happened right here, how you could have seen it if you're trading order flow. Look at this. So this is either stop out or this is an idiot with a lot of money. Either way, they bought the tops. What does price do? It doesn't matter where these, it's not as much where these big buys and sells, because you don't know, sometimes you don't know what side they're on, but usually you have an idea. It's how does price react after. So in this case, this is probably a stop out. This is probably a seller that was forced to buy back their position. But after that, then you see some institutions probably get involved, 1.2K lots to the downside. And then sure enough, that's how that's, makes the initial move down. You see some more aggressive selling, buyers trying to buy off that. I think at that point, I don't know if I think it was value or high, value or low probably at that point. I don't know. But anyways, they tried pushing back up, reoffers around the same area, move down. Okay, that's how that's a big player kind of in the mix. So their at least intentions are to keep price lower for a little bit, and to maybe make some new lows. They just barely made New low on both indices, but yeah, yes, it was just barely cracked 150 or 7150. So I know that there's still a big buyer in the mix because of this. So this is why I'm not trying to take sells lower. Look at this, aggressive sells all the way through here, and then 1.3k sells right at the lows here. So whatever that is, I don't know, but I don't think that's a mega stop. Maybe it is actually. I don't know. But either way, after that, price stays above for the most part, like just edges below. But you know, there's no initiation lower. They tried for a little bit, but at that point, buyers are just filling their bags. You see some big market orders there. At that point, you can just assume buyers are just filling their bags long here because they could not push price any lower. And that's how you know reversal is coming. See heavy selling or heavy action one way, try to initiate in that direction, fail, consolidate, and then yeah, move higher. And then you see after that, that's exactly what happened. So I just, once we started balancing here, I just lost interest because after a huge move up like that, or sorry, huge move down, I'm either looking for a clean rejection and reversal, or that it's going to consolidate. That's essentially what I'm looking for. It could consolidate and then move lower, but I'm thinking it's going to consolidate first. So if it's not going to reverse right away off of that key level, so yeah, it starts to consolidate. Though this is how you avoid getting chopped up. So it's starting to balance right now, and it makes sense because these point of controls right here, POCs, started bouncing in between them. POC point of control is where a lot of volume is being traded. So that is where an area of the market that price balances, that it's comfortable. Both sides agree for a little bit that that's where it belongs. And so, yeah, just hugs in that range, chops around, people are just getting chopped left, right, and center. They're getting frustrated. Stay out of the market at that point. When it is balancing, let it balance. There's two ways that you trade out of balance. So you either choose what you could assume that I guess would be a manipulation one way or the other. So let's say for in bullish context, manipulate lower, let's say 7140. That's what I was kind of anticipating. Okay, 7140 manipulation lower. Real quick absorption. Again, you would see this profile just like really tail at that point. You wouldn't see you hopefully wouldn't see a heavy amount of volume there, because then that would be maybe continue lower. So immediate absorption, immediate rebalance up, and at that point, at that key area, I'd be looking for some basically just like the volume to just completely die off. I'd look for a lot of zeros on the sell side because they're not able to sell any lower. And yeah, it might take a little dabble there, and I'd be longing back into the value area at that point. I'd be targeting the POC. That was the POC down there until it switched up here. So I'd be targeting the POC and then value area high and then leave runners after that. That's one way you trade it. The other way, which is what is happening right now, I believe, it looks like it's what's happening right now, is so you consolidate, and then an initiative buyer starts to make a move. So they start to be like, okay, bags are full. Now I'm going to start to push price up. Now I'm going to start market buying. These are all limits down. Like everything on a footprint chart is market orders, but at the same time, limit orders are being filled and then just automatically turning into market orders. So down here, there's a lot of limit orders catching price. That's why it's not able to go lower. So buyers going, yeah, my bags are full. We're moving higher now. So they start just aggressive market ordering up, moving through this zone. Then you'd look for a break of the value area high, and then you'd look for a retest and a rebid. So break above, and then come back, retest, and then you'd look for hopefully this initiative buyer to be like, yep, we are going to distribute higher now. We're moving to a previous area of balance, whether that is this area right here, 7195, or even further all-time highs. So I don't know. So it could be news that really jolts us. Yeah, no idea at this point what will happen, especially with Trump and tweets and stuff, news. But yeah, that's how you would trade that. Just stay out of all this crap. As soon as it doesn't make a move there and it just starts consolidating, hands off. Wait for it to figure out its thing. Wait for essentially the market to show its hand. Wait for one side to be like, make a decision kind of thing. just getting infinitely chopped up in here is, yeah, you're just toast basically. As far as overall targets, yes, I don't know if I said already, I'm looking higher. My overall targets are about 300 on ES, 73.2, 73.20, around there in this area. My main target is 72.40 on SPX for a variety of reasons, just between standard deviation, Fibonacci. It's really the only way you can kind of look at all-time highs and kind of see where the market might run out of steam, and then you just essentially watch up there. So I'm not going to just like freaking limit in and then short. I'm going to wait for it to hit those levels and be like, all right, what are we doing? Let's watch the tape. Let's see some heavy absorption. Let's see sellers just completely getting exhausted buyers completely getting exhausted, and then sellers stepping in and taking control from there. And then that's where you get involved. That's when you start selling. So that's what I'm looking at for the next week or two. How do I think that's going to happen? From a macro standpoint, basically, sure, Trump can keep edging along his peace deal. It's very clear, obviously, that he's been manipulating the market just from these, fake tweets or whatever saying that it's coming along, or and then Iran coming out and be like, no. It's such a bad look. It's just embarrassing, honestly. So clearly can't really take anything he says seriously. So what I view it as is, and also too with the Pentagon, once they sink their teeth into a war, the war machine, they're there. So he may say that there's a deal, he might even get Iran to agree to a deal, but something's going to happen. There'll be some event, there'll be some attack, there'll be something that either changes his mind, or he'll just come out of his lie being like, no, we're not leaving actually, and this war is going to continue. In a perfect world, he completely backs out like literally today, and we start repairing all the damage that has been done, and they start removing all the mines that have been laid. There's that Pentagon leaked report that basically said, whoever the whistleblower is, you're the shit, love you, because that was a major factor in the kind of current outlook, especially for it being bearish. Is, let's say this war ends today, it would take about, in their estimation, about 6 months to completely clear that strait of mines that have been laid by the RGC. So it's not a good look. No matter what, it's not good. There's a lot of damage that has already been done, and even if he backs out today, it doesn't really freaking matter. It's gonna be a long road ahead, and the ramifications of this war and the strait being closed are not even fully being felt yet, not even close. So I know things seem expensive right now. What's coming is probably going to make COVID look like a bump in the road, inflation-wise. I think he's coming in after Powell. He's going to have his hands full trying to figure out what to do with rates and stuff, and that could ultimately be a real catalyst down. Let's say we reject off those highs and things aren't looking good. Imagine, interest rates are so bad that even the guy who is literally being put into just aggressively lower interest rates, let's say things get so bad, inflation gets so bad, the data gets so bad that even he is like, sorry, we have to raise them. We have to continue raising them. Like at that point, like the show's over, like the music stops. So yeah, anyways, long rant to end it. Sorry about that, but that's just kind of where I see things going from here. I have been, not to toot my horn, but one thing I'm very proud of is I have not been shorting this entire way out. Again, from a Wyckoff perspective, I view this as phase C, up thrust, blow off top. This whole way up is just continuous movement, blowing through every pivot. So yeah, that was, I was long most of this move, or trying to be long as often as I could. So yeah, I haven't really started talking about tops until recently, and I still haven't even said anything about it's in or anything. A couple times I thought it looked real shaky, and I was like, oh, this might be it, but then I was like, no, not happening, not confirmed in any way. So yeah, still looking higher for now, but it's not going to be for much longer in my eyes. We are very, very, very close to the top of this bad boy in my eyes, and then on the way down, same thing. People are going to be getting murked because we've had this huge move up. And for people that don't know, for people that aren't familiar with Wyckoff or blow off tops, or or not even just watching under the hood, looking at order flow, and we'll just be like longing gaps for the sake of it being a gap kind of thing. There, each time we come back, we're gonna be hitting these gaps. Each daily gap, weekly gap. People are gonna be longing, buying the dip. Here we go. We finally have the retracement for the next leg up, and this entire way down, they will be getting murked, and they'll be going, no, this is it. This is it. Here we go. Here we go. We're moving up, kind of thing. And in my eyes, sellers are just gonna freaking the whole way through here, just absolutely tank it. And it is going to be some epic selling, so you definitely want to be on the right side of that. So yeah, I'll keep everyone updated on how things are looking, how the book's looking, how each session is going day to day, and where updated price targets are at. But yeah, a lot of volatility coming, I can tell you that. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Take care.